East Coast, West Coast. East Coast, West Coast. What does it all mean?
What's the difference between a West Coast and an East Coast IPA?
Everything. Everything is so different about those two beers. Wildly different. Water chemistry, style of hops, when the hops go in, everything.
Do you like West Coast or East Coast better?
I respect both the styles equally. And that's true.
What's the difference between an East Coast and a West Coast IPA? IPAs are the number one selling category of craft beer, accounting for more than 25% of all craft beer sales. If you've been a fan of craft beer for a while, you know about the long debated West Coast versus East Coast IPA battle. However, many of our customers tell us they don't even like IPAs. Then after 3 hours on our tour, they end up loving the new flavor they just tried. There's a massive difference in flavor between each of them, with each head brewer offering a new, distinct perspective. So don't give up on IPAs just yet, and let's dive in and see what the folks love.
So what is the deal with all this haze craze? East Coast, West Coast, what coast? East Coast or West Coast IPAs?
East Coast, West Coast.
All right, East Coast versus West Coast. West Coast is the old school IPA, very much a hop profile, lots of hop bitterness involved. The hops are really meant to shine.
It's meant for really just to make all those hops to burn those oils and release the bitterness.
Yeah, man, it's just it's got everything to do with like the bitterness.
West Coast IPA, it's old school. I like the bitter hops there.
Yeah.
Piney.
East Coast all the way.
East Coast, it's more balanced. The malts add a little bit of flavor towards sweetness. The hops actually get put in the back half of the boil, which allows for the essential oils to really create those citrusy flavors.
We got Grant with Brew Parade here. Grant, what is your opinion of East Coast versus West Coast IPAs?
They both kind of have their positives. I tend to like a bit of a blend between the two.
I feel like the East Coast are definitely on this trend right now that's blowing up all over the place. So crazy that you learn is like the spectrum of hops. So you get everything that's from like tree sap to almost like pot to coconut, pineapple, like these very tropical flavors.
It's got the more juicy, no bitterness, very velvety taste.
More hoppier.
So we got the founder, NOLA Brew Bus, right here behind me, to say what his favorite West Coast or East Coast beer it is.
This is the East Coast IPA. Trust me, it's worth the parking. I love the citrus and stuff in the pineapple.
In my opinion, the East Coast is a little more flavor. I respect both beers, but in my opinion, the East Coast is the best.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Brew Bus Shenanigans, episode 26. Hope you learned a little bit about East Coast versus West Coast IPAs. Until next time, cheers.